Hello everybody, this is Dr. Katie Love. This is the review of your course syllabus, Nursing 407. You can see I have my trusty little cursor and you have a yellow circle to show you what I'm trying to point at. But I can also switch back and forth between other things that are on here. So this is what the blackboard looks like, etc. So I can show you some different things that are on here. And like I said, I can also scroll through. So this is pretty much how the lectures will be set up as well. Looking at the syllabus, Nursing 407 is Nursing Leadership and Professional Issues. We're going to be obviously online over 8 weeks. It's a 3-credit course, and this is approximately how those all divide up, including about how long we expect people to spend on papers and reading and doing assignments, etc. This is me, I'm the faculty member, but the course description, course outcomes, program outcomes, and the nursing essentials are all things that we're required to keep in the textbook, but I won't bore you with in going through the lecture of the syllabus, but you can read those on your own. So as I said, all the readings are already on Blackboard. You didn't have to have a textbook for this course, so it was very nice of me. These are what the course requirements are in terms of the general assignments. Just make sure that you do your reading before that week of class so that when you listen to the lecture it makes sense, so that you can participate in the discussion posted, things like that. Course policy. So there's always our disability statement. If you have any learning needs or anything that I need to know about, you can get the letter or coordinate services through the students' accessibility services. So all that information is here. The policy on exams and papers and presentations. So obviously if you haven't had an accident or there's been an injury, those are excused absences by the university. Otherwise, other things that might fall in there is if you have a spouse, a child, or a parent that's sick, if you've been mandated to work 3 12-hour shifts in a row, you have a bunch of other classes that are keeping you busy. Those are all reasons that are completely valid, but they're not official excused absences. So you can get an extension in my class for any reason. I don't care what it is. I thought the paper was due and then we had a storm and the power went out, or I went and got my hair done and I just didn't have time to do it. It doesn't really matter what the reason is, but you do need to tell me if it's not an excused reason in 24 hours in advance. And what I always tell my students is, yes, having a flat tire on the way to something that you were going to try to do or something you needed to take care of outside of accident or injury are all sort of emergent things that maybe you didn't know were going to happen yesterday. However, if it's an assignment that's due on Friday and it's Thursday and you are not done with it yet, just write to me and say, Dr. Love, can I please have an extension until Saturday or till Monday? You do need to tell me when you want it extended to so that I can put the new date into the gradebook for you. But if you're not done, or let's say, oh, well, I'm working a 12-hour shift tonight. When I come back in the morning tomorrow, I'm going to finish it and it's due that day. Well, you went to work, they mandated you to stay, you had a cold, you were super tired, you fell asleep, now there's an hour left and you're not going to get the paper done. But if it was Thursday and you knew that you were really pushing that boundary of I can get it done, but I have to have everything work out perfectly, then just write to me and ask for the extension. There is no penalty at all for asking for an extension. But if you write me that day, or because you were pushing it, it's now 12:15 in the morning, and so now it's technically Saturday. It's the next day. Most of the things I have set up on Blackboard will actually close on you, and so you're not going to be able to even post an assignment to be able to do that. So like I said, if it's Wednesday even and you know that something's due and it's kind of close and the kids could get sick or so the dog could get sick, anything can happen, just write to me and ask for an extension. If everything works out perfectly in your life, fantastic, happy face. And then you just submit it on time. But if you end up with something else that comes up and you're not able to do it, now you have a little bit of a buffer. So I like to think of this as a generous policy, so please take advantage of it. And you can see down here, if you don't do that, you lose 10 points a day, including weekends, for every day that it's late. And that's not to penalize you. That's just to make sure that you're taking advantage of what this system is. So ask me in advance. And again, anything that comes up as after the hours of when the assignment is due ends up falling into this. Any other policies related to being in the nursing program, including academic integrity, policy on plagiarism, and written assignments, are all in the Nursing Student Handbook, which can be found online. Our plagiarism policy is basically this: don't do it. If you present your ideas as your own, then you don't need, and you don't have a citation, then it's plagiarism. If you are using a specific concept and you put quotes in it, then you do have to include the page number. And even if you are paraphrasing, it's still needs a citation and you need to do that. Specific examples are included in here. We do have, and I know I included this in everyone's orientation little videos, which I hope you liked, about going to the resource center, and they will hopefully be able to pick up on that might be problematic because that's clearly not your own words and you need to have a reference for that. Academic integrity includes basically everyone being honest, not cheating, not misrepresenting your work, no unfair advanced trying to get ahead of other students, not competing. So we try to keep everybody on the same level and give everyone the same advantages, and anything that I can do to help, please let me know. Policy on communication is I expect everyone to be open, honest, and professional. I expect, well, you're all current colleagues. It's a policy that we have sort of as a department. The undergrads are students who are future colleagues, but you are all my current colleagues, and so hopefully we can interact with each other in that way. All right, so on to the fun stuff. The evaluation for the course comes here. 20% for the legislative paper, 20% for leading a seminar online, of course. I have this actually divided up when you look in Blackboard of it's 5% for doing the wiki and 10% for doing the discussion, and I'll talk more about that below. The midterm is 20% and the final is 25%. So I try to keep these numbers fairly balanced. Mostly the wiki and the discussion, I can't give you 25% for it. It's just not that much work to be able to keep up with those things. Time consuming, yes, but it's very different than writing a paper. But 15 and 20% are fairly close, so I try to give everyone a fairly equal balance of what the grading looks like. This is the course schedule. It includes what all the readings are, any projects, activities, assignments that are due. I have the seminars listed as A, B, C, etc. So you know I'm in week 2, but I'm doing seminar B. And what we're going to do, and again I will talk about this when we get below, is you're going to sign up to lead one of these seminars. And now obviously this is us in week 1, and week 2 that means that somebody is already off and running and doing this. So they get a slight advantage because I'm obviously going to be grading them more leniently than someone who's had, way down here, has had 7 weeks to be able to prepare their information, and also the benefit of seeing 5 other groups before them who've done it. So that's just, if you're, I will show you where to sign up for everything online. These videos, I'm only allowed 15 minutes, or like YouTube is usually 10, but these are 15-minute videos, and so this will probably be in 2 parts because there's a lot of information to cover. The midterm is on here in week 4, and we do have some content, but you see all the rest of these has 2 seminars, and this week just has 1, so it's a little bit more of a balanced week. And then the final, all of these run, if you look on your calendar and put them all in, the 10th is always a Monday, so midnight in the morning on Monday to midnight at night the following Sunday. So they're always that full week, except for here, which is not a full week, and it's just because of when the course ends and how the weeks work out. All right, so leading your group leadership experience, this is the seminar. Basically what you're doing is you're picking one of these topics. So let's say, I'm going to not give you an example because that'd be cheating, but let's say we're going to be doing the horizontal violence. You want to pick seminar C. So you're going to consult with Dr. Love, that's me. I will show you something really quick. Whoop. Of course, they want to do something else. All right. So if we go all the way down here to content, this is actually just looking, so you can see the 407 syllabus is here under syllabus. This is, I'm just in the course. If you go all the way down here to content, this is the seminar sign up. And so all that it says here is that some of them, because of the number of students, I might not be able to get 1 student in each of these. Some of you might have to double up. So just be mindful that we're going to try not to double up so that all of them are covered. But you just go in here and it's very easy to sign up. Okay. There we go. And what you're going to do is you'll assign a reading for the students. You'll go and find a reading on horizontal violence. I already have, and you can also go in, so this is looking again at Blackboard, under the learning materials. So horizontal violence is right here. You would go in and review all the materials for that week, all the PowerPoint, all the reading. Now this has 2 different seminars in this one, week 3. So just make sure you're reading the things that are relevant to what you're doing. And you'll go through and you'll read them and you'll prepare and you'll be able to see my lecture, so you'll already know what concepts I've covered. And that's the sort of the idea of prepare the discussions in a 1-page document. So that's going to be, normally we would collect this in person, but this is going to be through a wiki that's done online, which I have more information in the syllabus about below. And it's got some questions for discussion, so you'll do that in the discussion board. You'll be doing that on your own to create that first simple 1 question. Sometimes people try to ask like 3 different things to get covered, but then the conversation gets really bouncy. And so just start with that 1 question, and then when you feel like over the course of the week that 1 question has run its course, then you can add follow-up questions. And so again, it's not just a question about the reading of what did you think of that section, but really helping the group to get a better understanding of the topic and to think critically. So I have an example about Jell-O. So let's say the topic is about Jell-O and you read about using Jell-O as a clear liquid menu item. So that maybe was the article that you picked. Instead of talking about the specific article of, hey, what did you think when they talked about using Jell-O as a clear liquid? Or what they wrote about the long-term, that Jell-O came out in 1953, whatever it is. I don't know when Jell-O was invented. But you could initiate a discussion through the discussion board about maybe vegan restrictions on Jell-O or dangers of having patients with bleeding in their GI tract not eating red Jell-O. So it's sort of taking the topic of Jell-O and progressing it to the new level. So you'll have a basic understanding when you get through the first set of lectures. Let's say in horizontal violence, you know that I'm going to talk about what horizontal violence is. I'm going to have a video. I'm going to have a little discussion about it in the lecture, explaining what the causes are. So in your presentation of the seminar, you should not talk about the history of it, of what the definition of horizontal violence is. What were the other things that I said? You can show your own videos and use examples, but maybe taking it that next step farther, which I'm not going to give you an example of because that's your job. So again, you're also going to include, for me, what the goals are of that discussion, and then you're going to lead the group for that week. This is just a rubric of what that looks like, so you post what your posts are, and you can go ahead and read through this. Now I do want to show you something, that if we're looking in, there we go, let's make this a little smaller so you can see. If we're looking in Blackboard, and we're looking at what that assignment is, I have them as a part of, oh, it doesn't let me go down any farther. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Groups, groups, groups. Okay, so these are all the different groups. So let's say I signed up for horizontal violence, which was seminar C. So the group discussion happens in here, any articles you want to post happen in here, etc. So once I've made that available to everyone, I can't make it available to you yet because I don't know who's picked which week, but hopefully within that first week everyone will know because somebody needs to have signed up for seminar A and B. But that's where this all is, and of course there's nothing in it yet, so it makes it challenging to show you, but just so you know where it is. Okay. Oh, I also wanted to show you where the rubrics are. Well, let me get through this part. So the wiki post, that's just creating a wiki, which is just a really fancy word for a web page that you can go in, especially if you have a partner. That means both of you can go in there. You don't have to meet in person then. You're able to do that through the group that I just showed you online and interact that way. It's just a little 1-page wiki summary that summarizes your main ideas of your presentations, any figures or models, and important publications about the topic that you want to share with people. And then on the other side is this class discussion. And so there's 5 points for the wiki page and 1 point for each seminar week that you post in. So there's 11 seminars. And obviously it doesn't count if you are posting in your own, so there's really only 10, so that's 10 points. And so please do not be discouraged if by after week 2 you've done 2 seminars and you only have 2 points. Don't write to me and say, how come I only have 2 points in a seminar in the discussion? And that reason is because we haven't had seminar C, D, E, F, G, etc. So that's a number that will build over time. Don't panic. The legislative position paper, you can pick any health-related topic. It can be something that's national, state, or local. These are some of the examples.